Hello Gundam fans, MobileSuit0302 here with a review on the 1-100 Nightingale. So this of course is Char's mobile suit, custom for new type, it says on the box there, and it looks really big and just badass. He's got his beam saber in his hand right now, and he looks great. Just when you get him all set up and pretty and you get him in... We'll talk about posing him later, but once you get him into something that looks cool, he looks amazing. He really does. And there's a lot of chance for panel lining on here, which I haven't done because, quite frankly, I'm a little sick of this model. Let's get into why. So, starting off with the colors, you get this really nice orangish red here. I wish it was a brighter red, a more vibrant, but it's okay. I mean, I'm thinking about customizing this kit. Not to a red, but to a blue. So I may customize it to a blue tone. But anyways, continuing on with the review. You get the white here on the thrusters, a little bit of detail on the collar there. You got vents and the tip of the cannon penis. That's right, he does have a cannon penis. And it doesn't really work like it's supposed to, because it's supposed to go parallel to the ground, but the tail in the back gets in the way of that. And it also falls off. So here's the tail. But anyways, he doesn't really have a lot of articulation. The legs will move a little bit, but you see the feet. Whoops, you don't see. The feet are just so big and unwieldy that he can't really move, and his joints here, that's not a joint, that's just a peg that you plug in. He's got a hinge for his feet, but it doesn't really work well. Also, the hinge in here for the legs, again, doesn't really work well. So really, you don't have a lot of mobility in the feet, and you don't need to, because this kit really just looks fine on its standing there on its own. But anyways, continuing on with the articulation, you've got a little bit of an elbow joint, not much. It will rotate at the elbow, rotate at the shoulder, but it's extremely tough to do, and it's got a hinge there. Again, it's really stiff. So that's kind of already marks against it. It doesn't have a lot of articulation. Oh, the head will wobble a little bit. It's supposed to do a lot more, but the springs in here kind of hinder it. And also it's got these really floppy springs on the side there. But I don't really mind those. I may trim them up a little bit later because they are sticking out a little bit, but you do have to trim those springs up. It comes with two about that long, and I find if you just cut that in half and then cut it in third, cut a third off of that, it works just fine, so you don't need two. They should have just given you one. That could have been cut in half, but anyways. Yeah, you do have to trim the springs for the head, but other than that, it does come with an LED. I didn't put it in there, though, because I'm thinking about customizing it. So it does come with an LED. It's a green LED that shines through there, and it does have a little... It's supposed to have a little gray piece in there to give it a little more detail, but I lost it. So anyways, continuing on the articulation, the last bit of it, these wings can go down and back up. So you get a lot of mobility there. It's 3 clicks, 1, 2, and then up like that. And then these can rotate, but it's like the arms, it's really tough to do. They can rotate 360 though. So let's get into just some of the problems that I've had with this kit. First of all, let's go to this axe thing. So the axe comes like this. It's really thick, so it doesn't fit into any of the hands, so you have to mount it on the shield. But anyways, the axe comes with this clear beam part, and it looks really nice. It's extremely thick though, and it's made of that really brittle plastic instead of what a beam saber would normally be made out of. So, while I was getting it out of the tree, I broke it, and I had to super glue it. So that kind of sucks. You can always see it in here. See? Ah! Anyways, it made me angry. So, to mount it, you get a shield here. Not that detailed, but, I mean, they give you some stickers here. Some water transfers, and then just the normal peel-off, so you can put, you know, the stickers on there and make it look a little bit nicer. But all this does is the axe comes in here and pegs into a little hole there. And I'm pretty sure that's all it was meant to do. So yeah, there's that. And then this guy just pegs right into the shoulder here on either side. And there we go. And it kind of weighs it down. So unless you've got it up and catching on the back skirt here, that's the only way you're really going to have it up. But anyways, you're going to get a beam rifle. And this beam rifle looks great. I love it. I just wish he was able to hold it better. Because his trigger finger hand isn't made for this, which sounds really strange. But the beam saber looks really nice. I did have to super glue. I had to super glue a lot on this kit. A lot more than I've ever had to super glue something. But it looks great once you get it all together. And it was fun to build. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed it. Getting the pieces out and carving them and making them fit together, that wasn't as fun, but all the super gluing was. But anyways, it comes with this little bayonet thing that you can easily take out. It won't hold anywhere else on the kit, so I mean the only place you're going to have this bayonet is in the gun like that. But it looks great. I love it. And it has a little fuel pod there or something. And then the little gimmick on this one is it has a clear green barrel, or clear yellow barrel in there. And you're supposed to be able to take the beam saber and put it in there as a little beam. But I super glued this into the handle because the beam saber wouldn't fit. And I didn't know about this gimmick, and I did it a little premature. So that's bad on my fault. But here you can kind of see how it would look just coming out of there. I don't know. Doesn't really need it. But yeah, it's kind of hard to get it in here. Kind of delicate. And once it's in there, you kind of have to fight with it to get it to look cool. But anyways, yeah, it'll hold it, and it's not that secure, but it's in there, and it won't get knocked out if you are moving it, unlike the tailpiece. So let's get on to this tailpiece, shall we? It comes on that little, it's supposed to mount on that little tiny peg there into a hole that is, if I can spin it around. First of all, whoops, get into the light. First of all, way too big, and second of all, it doesn't fit together all the way. So I put some super glue on it to make it kind of bigger, but it doesn't seem to be helping that much. It'll stay in there, but you can see it doesn't like to move with the kit, and it falls out really easily. So, marks against it. And then one other thing, these side skirts. Now, you're going to get, see if I can get the right ones. You're going to get more side skirt for these guys, so they could plug in like that. But on mine, I just couldn't get them on there because they ran into these two, the tail and the front skirts. So I just had it with this, and you can see this soon became my little palette for super glue. But I couldn't get them on there, so that kind of sucked. It does come with this little peg here that you can put onto whichever arm you're not using the shield, and to kind of block it off like that. It's nice that they added that. I wish they would have, and it comes with an extra little thruster in case one of these thrusters, see if you can get it, yeah, it's got a lot of thrusters in its wings. I guess that's, I don't know if I can get it, okay, let's back up, there we go. But anyway, yeah, it's got a lot of thrusters on it. It's got thrusters under the feet, which you can't really see, on its shoulder here. It's got thrusters in the tail underneath it. It's got thrusters on its back, and then it's 3 long fuel pods, which I had to super glue together again. And it gives you an extra thruster in case you lose one of those. Continuing on, it gives you a bunch of little hands. So you get 2 trigger hands, 2 beam saber hands, and then 2 closed fists. So they give you a lot of hands, and that's really good, so you can mix and match wherever you want the stuff to go. But the way you put these together is you peg the thumb in, and then you peg the hands in, except for the closed fists. And I broke the thumbs. One of the thumbs, trying to get the gun into this hand. So that kind of sucks, so I had to super glue that back on there, and when you peg them in, it doesn't really fit well either. So you really have to super glue it, and these hands don't really work well, which kind of sucks. But anyways, so yeah, that's all that I have for the Kshatriya. It looks, once you get it into a pose that you like, it looks great on whatever, whoops, on whatever, okay, the front skirt fell off, that's new. But yeah, it'll look great on, oh, I almost forgot, because it is so inconsequential, but, and the tail fell off. On the underside of its side skirts, it has little hands, whoops, little hands that fall off, and they're not really good. As you can see, they're falling apart while I'm trying to move them. But yeah, it does come with little hands that you can, these are supposed to be on hinges, but I had to super glue them together to make them fit on there. But yeah, they're supposed to go flush into there like that, but I couldn't get the claws to go all the way down, so that kind of, this kit just doesn't really fit together. It doesn't fit together well, whoops, which is a shame because it looks amazing. But yeah, it has that on both sides, and the claws are really floppy, so you can't really do anything with them. But yeah, I wish it fit together. If Bandai ever makes a, because I don't think, not that I know of, Bandai makes a model like this. I don't think they make a Kshatriya, except for the super deformed. But if Bandai ever makes a master grade of this, go out and get it. I highly recommend it. And I recommend this kit too. I do. Because once you get it together, it looks great. And if you like to kind of mess with your models a little bit and file them down and do a little work on your models, it's a great kit to get, because there is a lot of that shaving down that you have to do after you separate it from the tree. And let's face it, he looks awesome just because he's such a big mobile suit. So that's all that I have on this guy. Let's see here the stickers that you're gonna get. But yeah, that's all that I've got on the Kshatriya. Don't forget to subscribe and enlist in the Mobile Suit Army. One day we will go up to heaven and pilot our mobile suits to take over the world. That's all for this review, guys. I'll see you next time.